The U.S. is set to resume trade talks with China next week. Top U.S. and Chinese officials meeting in Shanghai for the first time since President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping agreed to revive negotiations. Riley Walters with us now, a heritage policy analyst in Asian economy and technology. Riley, thanks in advance for the time. I noticed as part of the group that's going to be meeting that the Chinese trade minister, who's really been absent this entire time, is going to be at the table. He's known as a hardliner. What do you think this changes, if anything, about the conversation?
Well, with the inclusion of the trade minister, a lot of people are skeptical because of his hardline tendencies. I'm actually a little bit optimistic about this, his inclusion. What it means is we actually have the people in charge of the process, right? So the ones who are actually in charge of applying these tariffs. So on the U.S. side, we've always had the USTR. Now we actually have the Chinese side come together, so it's a little bit more reciprocal.
Because in some respects, even though their positions are not one for one, on the Chinese side, he is considered their Lighthizer, right? The fact that he's really going to be standing there for what China wants. Is that your take?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, these last little, the end of these talks right now are definitely going to be some of the most difficult. But, the fact that they have the guy in charge, or at least more of the folks in charge, I think it's a good sign for progress.
So, Riley, what is honestly realistic to expect from these meetings? Because there are a lot of people who say, you know what, China is just trying in the long game, hoping that President Trump doesn't get reelected, hoping there's someone easier to negotiate, and they're basically just playing for time. Do you agree?
That theory, I've heard it quite often. It's a risky bet because you have to bet that President Trump doesn't win re-election next year. So it could be, it could not necessarily be in the Chinese favor if that happens. I think the Chinese and the U.S. both want a deal. President Trump said he wants a deal. He thinks the Chinese want a deal. Question is when, and certainly timing is a factor. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a deal before the end of the year.
Comprising what, Riley, if you don't mind my asking, including addressing IP theft, because that's really been the issue that's been so hard to get past.
Yeah, IP theft, technology transfer, joint venture requirements. I mean, these are all hurdles that exist. Certainly, the Chinese want to bring Huawei into this, but I think these things are easily resolved to a certain point. Obviously, China's not going to become our greatest trading partner at the end of the day, but we can reach a point where we both agree on a deal.
Riley, scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that something gets done?
Before the end of the year?
Yep.
7.
Okay, we'll take it. Thank you, Riley Walters.
Better than I thought.
Yeah, 7 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, come